Hey, Jeff.
All right, I think I'll get it going for a few minutes after, but we're spreading the tickets around, so. Welcome to the not December 20th or 11th meeting. I forgot to change the date on the front screen. Start out with the mouse on the right game screen. There we go. Everybody. Let's start up the January meeting here, but we just got some recent news. Please keep in mind the Brinkman family, but Dave and family lost their daughter-in-law suddenly. He just got back at 4 a.m. this morning, going down there to attend the meetings. Not aware of any others. So please keep them in mind. Going forward, before we get into the memberships, I do want to mention that we did formally elect 2 new board members that accepted the role. Jason Buckman, who is not here tonight, he's sick. He just messaged me on that. And then Dale Hudak joined the board, and he's been spending a lot of time volunteering with us, not only in the events, but getting accustomed to the board side. He took over as the secretary in the secretary position for the board.
Well,
yeah, so
comments go with it.
What's that?
I know. We're talking membership. I've got a few comments.
Oh, yeah, no, I just wanted to, I said before we get into membership, I wanted to jump into the 2 board members.
Yeah. I can get it.
He'll bring you.
Oh, you're not quite ready for me. Okay.
I am now, but now you're. Now that Todd ruined it. All right, roll into it. So thank you. Congrats to the 2 new board members. Victims.
All righty. Well, I'm glad that those of you that are here tonight are taking advantage of getting signed up. Prior to today's meeting, we had a total of 10 members sign up, which included, I believe, 2 new members and 4 who were also members of SU Illinois. They come up here, they fish our tournaments, they win, they take our money. I think they run some great tournaments down there. If you haven't considered it, you might get on their website and join their club as well. Their tournaments are never on the same day as ours. Go down there as a Wisconsin team, win some money and bring it on home.
I also joined as a member, but I do not have the time to do any more tournaments or lose any more money to other people.
You probably want to get a vote first.
You know, yeah.
Wait, what happened to your, oh yeah, your vote,
Yeah,
your vote, yeah.
yeah. And Bob Weedman's,
Oh, yeah.
not as bad as mine,
I
but
think you should name the next one Stumpage.
no, I frankly, after Bob's last 18 months, I am not bringing my vote anywhere near his anymore. I think it's bad luck on his part that rolled off, but brief update on that. The rep from the insurance side was not responding back, and Jim Ladwig got involved again for me, and now she's no longer with the insurance company. I don't know if it was related to that or if she had already put her 2-week notice in because it was at the end of the year of the transition, but she wasn't responding. And now we got some people who are actually responding, and hopefully in the next day or 2, we'll start to come to negotiate.
Still pay your premium, they'll respond to you.
It's not my insurance. My insurance offered to write me a check up front, but mine was not as high as it should have been because I bought the boat cheap and then did all the gear and equipment and upgrades, and I put in a new motor. I never thought to go back.
Bad luck yourself, I think.
Yeah, well, I guarantee you next time I'll remember to up my coverage if I do improvements.
So did they have some liability they feel because?
Ladwig's already assured me that they're gonna take care of me. But that's a nice statement until a number is offered and a check's in hand, so I'm hoping to hear back soon, but they Jim and SCJ side has been great to us. They've communicated with both of us. It was this Hartman, Garrett, or whatever the name of this Gallagher or Bennett insurance firm out of Chicagoland area. That's where this lady was from. The 2 new, the Mark and Dominique, his assistant, they've been much more communicative since Friday when they were given the orders to take the situation over. So we'll see where it goes. I did put in an offer on a boat last night though, about at 10 o'clock, so.
Now you're screwed.
Huh?
That boat's gonna burn now. What you gotta
Well, either way,
Here's a major question, are you gonna restore your boat there again?
what's that?
Are you gonna restore your boat?
You
there
know,
again?
that's the joke. Bob's been starting his there for 5-6 years, never had an incident. And, you know, the year I go in next to Bob. So it's one of those freaks in nature. It was the Wednesday after Thanksgiving, we had that really big windstorm. And that was the night that it took the tree down. It broke it off about 1.5 feet off the
Where
ground.
was this? Nick, I don't.
Dave Meyer, one of our club members, he lives on the Root River behind the SCJ Armstrong Park.
Oh, okay.
And so it came from their property, fell over from stern to bow across my boat in his backyard. Yeah, there is. Yeah, up in the river. Dale, I think you said you had some updates on ice.
I went to McKinley Park today. The gate B, C, and D is open to the piers for the ice. There is thick ice. I don't have a spud or auger or anything to drill through, but there were existing holes that had refroze. And when I sat on the end of the pier and I tried to stamp on it with my foot, I could not break the ice.
You only
So
weigh 80
I would
pounds.
say it's probably a good 4 inch, but everything is open. There's good clear ice. I don't know how far out though. I'm not, but you can see the whole bay.
You
It's
got a key to the Conex, go drop 400 pounds of salt in there. see how long-
and take a 4-wheeler out.
Now you're talking. Anyone else get out? I know 2 weekends ago, I got pictures from Brian Falk. He was out in front of the power plant the weekend after Christmas and they were hitting Browns and Simmons like crazy. But then the following weekend, as Nick and I were talking, that's when everything iced up, so. Good news for Todd, bad news for the fishermen.
They're getting a lot of browns and rainbow there in Hubbard.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
A lot of emerald shiners.
Yeah.
A lot of big.
Any others? No. All right, jackpot series. Bradley did not give me a speech to say. Sounds like you guys have been talking amongst yourself about trying to get some things going on the setup, but he did ask me to bring the NFL pools before he goes out to the general public to fill the rest of these. So he's got strip cards for NFC and AFC championship game, if you want to buy in on those. And then Super Bowl game strip card, 10 spots. And the actual 10x10 pool.
Speaking of Bob,
Josh, maybe let Dan or Nick talk about the structure that.
Yes.
For payout.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, we haven't really.
I know it's not set.
Nothing's
but you can
finalized,
give
but
them-
any
you
updates
can
are
get
appreciated.
feedback.
Okay, yeah, so what we're trying to do is expand the money payouts to possibly the top 7 boats and then also do a money payout of the biggest of each species, all 5 species for each tournament. So basically, the payouts might be a little bit smaller, but a lot more payouts, so everybody's gonna have a chance to win.
So I have a chance to win.
And big fish is a lot of luck, so kind of,
What they're trying to target is. Keep the tournament guys away from coming to the 12 or 13 or 14.
yeah.
And make it a little smaller, pay it off further down and make it more enjoyable for.
First place and the second place is still be pretty big
Still, yeah, still worth it.
Depending on how many boats, more boats, obviously more money, but we're still looking at good payouts each week and the big payout at the end, so.
yes,
We're gonna try to spread it down. a bit.
there'll still be a points base.
I don't know if we'll get her down to where 2 steel finish, but.
Yeah. Well, you guys got some work ahead.
We can have a random draw, we're thinking about our random draw.
All right, so if anybody wants to get in the different pools, Todd's got them in front of him right now, but I'll collect the cash and the copies as it goes around. Anything else for you guys needing any additional help in terms of people or what do you know, is there anything that the rest of the club members can do to help make this roll better?
Any donations, I mean, if anybody knows any donations that we can.
They
help
don't look from.
Yeah.
Kingsville doesn't put anything in on tribes, so.
That's where they can.
What do you guys think
Yeah, well,
of
that means
the
keep-
kind of that payout structure? Do you like that more than
I do, I think
the bigger single payouts where 1 or 2 boats win pretty much all the time?
I like the fact that you have a chance to
Thought it was a better chance. I
Yeah,
think second place is the first loser. So I go all the way, like, get a trophy just for showing
all
up.
right, Ricky Bobby.
No, we're going that way.
When was the last time you were here? Cause then they're not.
When he won the jackpot last year.
No, but I think overall in time, you'll retain that.
Yeah.
don't Get so discouraged, you know, that, oh, I
Yeah.
did that 3 years, I'm
Or-
not gonna do it.
Or the people that dump a cooler back on their run-in. I don't know who would have done that.
Kid,
Payouts are still gonna be,
personal best was in there, right?
it's still gonna
I
be.
mean, you gotta consider.
Yes, my daughter's personal
You're doing
best.
four
That's
events for
hysterical.
$250 at $60.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you win 500 or 600, that's pretty good for your
Yeah.
return on your six,
Yeah,
plus you get a lunch.
Yeah.
For your money back.
Yeah.
So,
Plus you probably can go fishing anyway, so might as well. have a
yes.
Chance.
That, frankly, that's why Lily and I do it, honestly, is we don't expect to win. We're
and
still learning
personally, I
from all
think
these
This
clubs.
is why
How you
Lake
guys-
Michigan anglers are struggling a little bit. Paying that big money to get bigger money,
It's tough.
it's tough. You'll get the 20 or 25 boats, but I noticed they're struggling,
There's only so many that want to be in a pro division,
right?
so. All right. Mr. Jim,
Uh, I wish there was more people here to help us out, but. Raffle tickets
Yeah.
for the gun raffle.
Yep.
I think pretty much everybody here got them tonight, but. Let's do our best to get these sold a lot quicker
Early.
this year. There's 15 guns. I believe the cheapest gun on your resale, or manufacturer suggested retail is about $600.
in the,
So we don't fill ours up with the 22s and the 410s and
right,
these are high-end guns. They should not be that tough to sell.
Yeah.
But the payout, the money goes directly to the payouts of sound.
I'm not
So-
a gun guy. And I got a couple, but I have, every time I've brought these to gun guys, I hear nothing but, man, you guys got a great selection, yeah, every time,
But
You buy tickets for yourself,
yes.
I
you
think,
win.
I think the biggest issue we run into
I'd sell
year
2
after
winners.
year. People will ask Todd for 25 or 30 books. Stick them on their dresser, on the visor of their truck, and they don't get sold.
Right.
And then Saturday of Salmonorama, they'll come up to me with a whole pile of books. We're bringing these back. Well, now you put us on the plan. We don't need to do that. These are. If you wanna do 5 books at a time and turn the money in and get 5 more, perfect. But don't take a whole pile if you can't get rid of them, cause it makes it tougher for us in the long run.
The 25s he's got them separated into are great,
And this year we did half cash value of the gun. So people that don't want guns or whatever, at least they got a chance to win money. Well, people have the cash value.
oh, okay,
If we gotta keep it.
that's cool,
We'll go over to the next.
Yeah, if it's somebody that doesn't hunt and they don't have an interest.
yeah,
And
They
they
get
get
some win cash.
$1,200, they get $600.
okay,
So
cool,
And how much are they?
$20.
still $20 a ticket,
$20.
And limited
Some
1,100 tickets.
1,100.
So
You sell good kids. it's free.
that's the other thing people really like about this raffle is the limited number. It doesn't sell endlessly.
Yeah.
So please help us with getting this done. Secondly, we need more volunteers to step up and help out with this event. If it's an afternoon of cooking or helping with the raffles or serving food, whatever it might be. If everybody gives one shift.
Yep.
We'll be in good shape. But we are really struggling with the same 3 or 4 people every day, trying to cover 10 or 13 places. I know everybody wants to fish the event, but if everybody could take one morning or one afternoon. We wouldn't have to go out and solicit extra help, pay for extra help,
retain more in our club.
and. The less we have to pay out, the more we get to make as an organization to do things like the jackpot we're talking about, so. That's one of the areas the proceeds go to is the jackpot for the club. So, again. First Monday of every month is the meetings. Anybody can come, you can attend one, you can attend all of them, it doesn't matter. But we really need people to step up and start helping.
Except for this one.
Well, this month is over.
We
We had
had it Monday,
So, next one will be February, first Monday of February.
So you have openings for anybody that wants to volunteer?
yes,
Yes. And like I said, I know everybody wants to fish the tournament, I get it, we look forward to this. But if we can get people to do one morning or one afternoon. And fill these up.
But they don't have to be club.
Last
I'll
year,
be like my uncle or something.
last year we paid out,
Absolutely.
last year for help, we paid out about $15,000.
Yep.
That's money that could have went into the jackpot.
Free.
Yeah.
Well, no, we did, we had a lot of volunteers, but we had a nonprofit that we did a revenue share with.
Yeah,
Because they brought a lot of labor, because we knew we were gonna need it. If, again, the more that we could retain in our membership, the less we have to rely on partnering with another. It was wonderful, went to a 501c3, but it could also go to our 501c3.
and in all reality, it helped us because we did not have the manpower. Even with their volunteers, we were still short. manpower.
We needed to put on a good show.
We did, you couldn't screw up the first year.
And that's gonna help us with sponsors.
Yeah.
Another thing, if anybody works for somebody or knows somebody that wants to sponsor, get a hold of us. And we'll work with them, but. We should do a lot more with sponsors this year with the event we put online.
Yeah, speaking of, these are just a refresh of the sponsorship letter we had from last year, but they're updated with this year's stuff, so. You know, again, relationships are the easiest ones to get a yes from. The places you work, the people you deal with daily. You know, donated equipment, cash sponsors,
I have something.
we need it all.
Josh, I may be having a new sponsor letter tomorrow.
Sure.
So I'll, once I get it, I'll shoot it to you and
Yeah,
Jim and then.
Absolutely.
Cause this is okay for what we've got. but
We know,
it's-
it's the best of what we got.
Right,
Yeah.
but we're gonna, I've got a guy that's working on it right now.
Absolutely.
and He said he should have it in the next day or two, so I may get it tomorrow. If I
Okay.
do, I'll, you know, meet or shoot up or whatever to look at it.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Cool.
And as far as what you mentioned, Uncle and Dad, spouses, siblings,
We'll do it.
aunts, uncles,
Last year.
any family members. They know what you're into. They are going to be the most willing to, yeah, I can give 6 hours, 4 hours to do that.
Especially if you're out fishing, because when you come in, they'll be there and then you can socialize for a little bit.
Absolutely.
Well, it's fine, anybody this year. And then it's all full.
Then you call it that one.
But yeah, definitely family, friends, spouses, whatever. We're not limited to just organizational.
email those to Bradley to let him know where the new ones are. Okay. Cool.
They're disposed to volunteer like this. A lot of people are.
Yeah, we
They
had,
volunteer different other things.
we had some
Yeah.
people. oh, Sorry, go ahead.
That's it. Just
Yeah,
ask.
we had people unaffiliated from the community who just wanted to help. We had a volunteer center, which some of the adults were great, some of the kids were a little bit of a struggle bus for us. That's why, again, you know, that's what we had to fill with, because that's what we had. We could get every club member to say. You know, yeah, Monday morning, I'll take the morning shift. You know, say it now, be done with it. Rest of the, if everybody just gave one shift early on, so we could book those up. The rest of the event, rock it out, but man, we just need everybody to get one shift. Sound like it?
My goal is not to have 14-year-old bartenders.
Yes. He's not joking.
No, he's not.
No, my daughter was running the kids fish pond and then she'd be, you know, she'd have to go bartend. It's like,
I had to think about that.
this is just, you know, we need our club members to step up with one shift each. They do that, we'd be in great shape.
How many hours are?
Like 7,
The morning is like 10 to 4,
yeah,
and the afternoon is 4 to 10.
yeah, it's like 6 and 7.
6 hours.
Yeah.
Northeast wind at 15 miles an hour.
And I don't mind if you set it up, as long as it's covered, where if you wanna do 3 and
Someone else, yeah,
another, you working with somebody to do the 3.
it's just easier for
I
us to
don't wanna
block.
I personally don't wanna break it down to 2 or 3 hour shifts,
Yeah,
because then I gotta find 70 people. It's just,
yeah.
my plate is pretty full as it is, to be honest.
And we can't have, you know, we can't be cherry picking based on the weather. We need you to step up early. Take the one shift and know that you're done for the rest of the event and not be like, oh yeah, it's a blow day, so now I'll come down and help.
The whole life is like that.
But, you know, but Jim's been down there with 4 people when we need 100 on the other days, so. You know, we just need some consistency from our people to step up.
But.
Okay. With that, our special guest speaker today is Darren, is it Cruzy? Cruz, from the VOW, I don't know if anybody in here, probably most of us are very familiar with them. We did a lot more of this last year with them and we're looking forward to doing more, this coming year in partnership and in donating. But Jim had suggested that them as a guest speaker since they were one of our largest benefactors this past year. So if you would,
Yeah.
I'll welcome you up.
Thank you.
Thank you back again.
Thank you for having me.
Just got going.
Yeah, I just. I'm looking longer than I thought, I just finished those.
Did he have to give you a 5 for whatever you did?
Anyone else?
See what that was.
We're not saying.
It was
Crop
for
cost
the,
versus the year was
NFC,
supposed to be-
NFC
Jeez.
playoff.
Okay.
We ready? I don't want to interrupt. Okay, it's a side conversation.
We were just laughing.
Good evening. Thank you, Salmon Unlimited, for inviting me to speak. Typically, I'll do this with a partner, Sonia Flynn. She's our program director. When we present to different groups or businesses, but
So Mary Lee stepping in.
Mary Lee's witnessing, so I do it correctly, so she can go back and tell everybody how well I did. With that, has anybody heard, I mean, I think everybody's here because of the work that you've done for us. Heard of Veterans Outreach of Wisconsin, know where it's at, located, everybody. If you don't, it's on Yout Street, it's just down the street from Horlick, up the street from Roosters. And the marketplace is right across the street from the tiny home builders. You can't miss it if you drive down past just at west on Yout, past North Memorial. It's right there. So big green building. Basically, I was asked to come and speak to kind of let you guys know, gentlemen and ladies know that what we're about, what we do. So with that, kind of go over the agenda. So why do we exist? These are some of the things that I'll be talking about. Why do we exist, inception and growth. Some of the stats and common questions for the marketplace, and then some of the stats and common questions for the village. Some additional services that we do provide, and then at the end, any questions you guys think of, feel free to ask. You can feel free to ask throughout the presentation as well. So first question we'll get asked is why do you exist? Why are you around? So back in 2015, two guys, Jeff Gustin and Matt Gahalik. Sorry. Decided that saw a need for a veteran presence in the community. A lot of people were coming to them, ask her if they got wind of a lot of veterans that needed help within a community with homelessness or being at risk for homelessness or food insecurity. So with that, here's why the major reasons why we exist. 7% of our American adult population is comprised of veterans. So that's about 18 million adult Americans. 13% of all homeless and 20% of all homeless men are veterans. Homelessness has increased about 7.4% over the last 12 years. That's the largest surge. Excuse me. Yeah. On that first one, 7% of the American adult population are veterans. Is that homeless veterans or is that?
No, just veterans.
Veterans in general?
Just veterans.
Seem to be higher than that, but I guess not.
Yeah, so, yeah, you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
1.4 million veterans experience food insecurity in their lifetime, but only a small percentage receive SNAP, so Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, that's available through each state. And then I want to throw some other stats at you guys. 1 in 5 veteran families have experienced food insecurity in 2023. So these are the latest numbers that have come out. So some other stats, which are a little bracing. 68% of homeless or at-risk veterans reside in principal cities, 32% in suburban or rural areas, 51% of individual homeless veterans have disabilities, 50% have serious mental illness. Substance abuse problem is a large percentage of why they're homeless, at risk, or have food insecurities. 51% are white males compared to 38% of non-veterans. And here's
That's a
the one that I
surprising
found. Here's the one that I found out is 50% are age 51 or older. Of homeless, at risk, or food insecure veterans. So why these numbers are the way they are, I can't tell you. They just are. The VA does its best, I guess, to help the veterans when they come back. Some veterans don't seek the help that they might need, don't know to seek the help. Are afraid to ask and seek the help, too much pride. But that's kind of why our outreach exists. Why we have our tiny home village, why we have programming, and why we have our marketplace. So, any questions so far besides Mike? So, as I mentioned, 2013, Valstead, Jeff Guston and Matthew Michalik out of a garage and a barn. Basically, they were accumulating furniture, and as a veteran, a homeless veteran would come in, they would offer furniture for a new place that they found. In 2015, Val outgrew the garage and barn. They moved into a warehouse. It wasn't the warehouse that's existing now, but they moved into a warehouse to keep up with donations and demand. The outreach, we added a food pantry in the same year. However, it was in the administration building, so we didn't have the warehouse across the street as of yet. So if you drive by or you visit, you'll kind of see how it's laid out. The warehouse and what we call it the Quonset hut, was an occupied property, but we hadn't purchased it yet. So the food and clothing pantry actually existed in a small, I think one of
Honestly,
our.
the ladies' room is about the size that was,
So it was
that
very
they were
small.
working out of back then.
There's actually some shoppers that come in that remember when the pantry and was across the street. So at that time, we were about 3,000 visits with 110,000 pounds of food. 2016 furnishings program and household goods at that point to more than they served up to that point up to 200 veteran homes. So, and then an idea kind of sparked, well, we have some homeless veterans who need recovery. Why don't we put our heads together? And what they came up with is a tiny home village. So they developed a site. Mayor Dickert at the time gave us full support, and they established a tiny home village. And then they bought the property, got approval of the city, and then there's a lot of volunteer work at the time. We didn't have staff. I think they had some administrative or executive staff, but really it was based on all volunteers and donations. So, and now we are where we're at. So some of the statistics. So in 2023, a couple of years ago, I mean, it's not too far, not too long ago. Well, about 8,500 veterans and their families served. By the way, the marketplace is open not just to the veterans, but the veterans and their spouses. They can bring their families as well. But if a veteran does die or passes away, the spouse can still visit. They're still allowed to visit the marketplace, which is unique in the fact that there's no other service, whether it's community-based or 501c3 pantry that allows that. So there's also some other unique things that we do as a marketplace that other programs do not. So that equated to about 165 visitors per week and 55 visitors per shopping day. So we're only open 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday being by far our busiest day. We'll see over 100 shoppers. We're open 10 to 4. Today we were open 12 to 5. Tomorrow we're open 12 to 4. So within that span within those 3 days, and it wasn't always open at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. At one point we opened at 12. all 3 days, but so that's how many people have come, that's how many veterans or spouses or veterans and spouses are coming through. At that point, we over a little bit over 400,000 pounds of food. Yeah, which is about 7,700 pounds of food and non-food items per week. So now we get into 2024, which just passed. And that's actually current through December. I'm sorry, I didn't change that, but it's current through December of 2024. So
Where is your largest source for food coming in?
So we have a number of large corporate donors. We just picked up Meyer. So we also have Kroger, Walmart. So and along with some smaller local businesses like Paelli's, Bimbo, and believe it or not, another large part of where we receive donations is based from the community, from people in the community. Through food drives, so Facebook posts, awareness created just through the community, word of mouth. We find that a Facebook post is pretty effective if we're short on something.
I live out in Walworth County, and Walworth County has a food bank that will donate food to other smaller organizations and food banks. Is there anything like that in Racine County?
As far as the food,
They'd be like a
there's a
bank
number.
that would give it to us.
Centralized food bank source?
There is, but they don't give us anything.
Yeah, there's a
No, I don't know.
I think they're so short here that they don't even fulfill their own requested needs from the community.
I will tell you that, so marketplaces like we have that are in the community that are community based, whether they're not, they serve the full community, not just the veteran community.
And there's no government programs that give you food either then?
No, we don't ask, we receive grants from local, state and federal government. And so through those grants, we provide, so we pay to exist. We also they also give us grants for our wages and for expanding our tiny home village. They pay for our lights, utilities.
So basically it's corporate sponsors, individuals or
Corporate
organizations.
sponsorships, small business sponsorships,
Okay, thank you.
or donations. So right around that number actually jumped up. It's about 10,000 veterans and their families have been serviced, which average 298 veterans per week, with an average of 85 visitors per open shopping day. So not quite double, but we're getting within that period of time. It was over 750,000 pounds of food and non-food, which averaged over about 10,000 pounds or 10,000 pounds of food and non-food items per week. So we'll see. So it's an average of about 40 to 50 pounds of food and non-food items that every veteran will walk out of that market with. And we're able to sustain that because of the generous donations that we receive, both from the community and for corporate donors. Okay, so how do you visit the pantry? So we have a process that every veteran has to go through. It's not very stringent. However, it does help us verify that you are a veteran or that the shopper is a veteran. So first thing is the DD-214. So if you're a veteran or if you've ever served, you know what a DD-214 is. Basically, it tells you that here's your length of service, here's where you started, here's where you ended, and this is what you did, and you're now discharged, right? It gives you all those dates. And that's your sole, it's not your sole proof of verification, but that's one of the more important documents that they tell you to hang on to when
Very important.
when you leave the service. That's your proof. Now, if you lose it, can you get another one? Yeah, it's a little lengthy, but or you can come out with the military ID. So we have had active duty military members visit our pantry, one recently. He came back from, he was on holiday leave. And he stopped by, he was in a neighborhood, he stopped by, signed up. So, we do typically, though, cater to, the veteran population. So, the military ID could be a veteran ID. Or it could be a VA ID, shows that you're registered with the Veterans Administration. Either of those, it could also be a driver's license with veteran status on it.
But you need your DD 214 to get that when you go to
Yeah,
DMV.
you need this, you need that form to get any of those.
Yeah.
So could Rel as a veteran use the marketplace? Yes, if they are included on the veteran's profile, each veteran, when they sign up, has a profile. We maintain that profile, we update it on a regular basis to make sure that any veteran, any changes in their status, whether it's family status, whether it's status of people who can, whether they can come in and shop. If they, when I say that, when they have, if they have the ability, their ability to come in and shop changes, right? So that allows us to add to their profile members of their family or friends. And then what they'll do is they'll check in under that person's name, we'll verify that person, and then they can come in and shop for that veteran. Again, another unique thing that we allow or we offer as an organization for our marketplace that others don't. So where do we get our food from? So all our food is donated through various organizations, right? Like so Kroger, Amazon's very, very big donor. Target, again, Target's been very generous to us. Paelli's, and then of course people within the community. And then how often can the veteran use the marketplace? So basically, the veteran can come in, use it once a week. Again, unique in that other organizations, community-based organizations, will only allow once a month visitation instead of once a week. So, and in that month, you may or may not be, depending on where you go, you may be able to shop in a marketplace type setting, or you may just get a box and you have to be happy with that. So our veterans actually get a cart and they actually walk around and they shop. It's pretty cool. It's a cool concept. All right, that's just one of our donors. So yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just, you mentioned that they get typically like 40 to 50 pounds. Is there a cutoff? And protein is obviously so much more expensive than non-protein items.
It's a good question. So yeah, so I know it's a lot. It seems like a lot, sounds like a lot, right? But take into account your typical chicken, right? Your packaged frozen chicken. That could be 8 to 10 pounds, 12 pounds, right? You get 2 of those, you get 2 meats, right? So it could be ground beef, 1.5 pounds, maybe 2 pounds of ground beef.
Oh, you get 2 meats.
Yep.
For right
okay.
now, and
For
then
right
that
now.
changes, it depends on.
Depending on-
Again, yes.
Yeah, if
Because
we have it, we give it.
so availability.
So
of
you'll
everything-
ration as needed.
Right,
Availability of everything in the market is based on what we receive the week prior or 2 weeks prior for donations, right? So we've been very fortunate in that we had the ability to expand our donation base or our donor base.
just since Darren came on board. I have
And
to
we've
say.
asked, we've established relationships with them, relationships with their team leads for their donation departments. And so we've notified them when, hey, we need, we're running short on this, we're running short on that. And so we worked very hard to maintain those relationships, so that we can continue to offer what we do offer. Now, the items fall? Yeah, I mean, some items are seasonal. You're not going to get as much produce in the winter as you do in the summer. You may have there may be a recall on something, and we may not get as much ground beef or certain things like that. Dairy's often hard to come by. So there are items that we do get in spurts. When we do, we offer, that's what we can offer. That can increase or decrease the rate, right, on what a veteran or their families might walk out of the marketplace with. So, good question. Okay, any other questions about the marketplace? There'll be some room at the end if you have some. So, so now on the other side of the street, the tiny home village is where Sonia usually take over, but I'm pretty well versed on this, so. So how much property does the Veterans Outreach of Wisconsin occupy? So we're just under 2 acres. And that includes the tiny home village and the property across the street, which is the marketplace, the warehouse, and the Plaza Hut. So we have enough room to expand into for another 3 to 4 homes. That's in the works. We have to get some city approval. And in order to do that, we have to increase, and I'll get to this in a little bit. We have to increase the amount of facilities we have available for our residents. So, so how many tiny homes? Currently, we have 15, and they're 128 square feet. Each one is built on with the same plans, right? So nothing varies. The only thing that'll vary in the plans is whether there's a loft for a sleeping area. For those that are a little bit more able-bodied that could crawl up to the loft, or whether the loft is not there and their sleeping area stays on the ground.
What's all in there?
Well, I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah,
Good
great
question.
segue.
It's coming.
Not a lot.
I do a lot of it.
So how much does each home cost to build? So it used to be $5,000 back in the day, right? When lumber was a little bit cheaper, building materials was a little less expensive. Now it's roughly 20 grand to build each home. So you have 400% increase. COVID.
It's
No.
17 more days, it'll go back.
Yeah,
That
right,
included
yeah,
both
exactly. Well,
presidencies.
we'll see what happens on the 20.
Yeah.
21st. So is there a cost? That's a question. A lot of people have, is there a cost for something they have to pay? No. There's no fee. Just for a veteran that's in need or at risk or is homeless at the time to reside at the home. The only thing, I mean, there are other things, but the main thing is if we have one available, right? So if somebody graduates, somebody moves out, and we'll go over that scenario in a little bit. That's, that's the only time, that's if we have room, then the veteran won't have a problem getting in if they pass certain process. So what's in the houses?
Besides, they don't have a cost, but do they have an obligation? You know, do they help with the snow shoveling and maintenance of the?
Yeah.
Wow, we're segueing.
I
Too much
well,
here.
all the questions will be answered.
Excellent.
Each of the houses, there's a bed, there's a small workspace, right? For a laptop, computer, whatever. There's a sideboard, there's a sleeping area. They come with a DVD player, TV, coffee maker, microwave, small fridge. What they don't have is a restroom. So they don't have a toilet, a sink, any
Yeah.
type of running water. Reason being is zoning for that is difficult enough, but then maintaining that infrastructure is even more difficult. So there's another reason. And one of the other reasons is veterans that are in a tiny homes are there for a reason, right? And when you're in that predicament, when you're in that situation, there's a tendency to isolate. And so if we had all those amenities inside a tiny home, the tendency would be for a veteran to isolate themselves into that home and, just never come out and associate with anybody. So what we do have is a community center. So what's in the community center? So community center has bathrooms, bathrooms and showers. Community center is open 24/7 for the residents. So this is where they'll have to get out of their home, right? We hope and pray that they'll get out of their home to shower and use the restroom. Laundry forces them to get out and circulate with other veterans, which is what we want. They also have access to a full kitchen. They have a living room, TV, unbelievable movie selection, pool table. They have 2 computer stations, laundry service, or the washers and dryers, everything you could want. And it kind of goes back to where if you've ever served in the military, you have a birthing area. Or, you know, but then you always had to go somewhere else to take a shower or do your laundry or watch TV. Right, so that's kind of how it's set up. It's familiar. So how long can someone reside at the beach? Is that a question anybody had?
Not anymore.
Okay, not anymore. So, the recovery program, it's a, they can stay there for up to 2 years. So if, depending on the severity of the reasons of why they might be there, I'm sorry, it can be up, we give them up to 2 years, and that could be, you know, whether it's court appointed programming, where they have to go through some type of court process, getting their bills in order, finding a gainful employment, finding their own place to live. They have up to 2 years to get all that situated, save up money. Our programming includes financial classes, job search classes, job search help, reaching out into the community, tying in with the VA and everything that they do to offer veterans employment and living assistance as well. It is evaluated on a case-by-case basis, so if they need 2 or 3 months, are we gonna kick, you know, extra, are we gonna kick them out? And we'll keep them. But if they want to leave early, that's on them. We can't force them to stay, not locking them in. So, you know, if they don't want to go through the program, or if they don't want to live in a tiny home and be subject to, you know, some of the rules that we have, you know, more than welcome to go ahead and continue on down their path.
Got a question for you.
Yeah,
Homelessness oftentimes affects more than just one member of a family.
Mhm.
So if you have a veteran family that's gone homeless, do you have ways of assisting them?
yeah, that's a question we get a lot too. So yeah, our tiny homes they're not big enough for a family.
Yeah, I understand.
So,
Tiny
right.
homes aren't, but
The reason it's a good question, people don't understand, you know, what 128 square feet looks like, or they don't understand that if you have a husband and a wife, why can't they share the space? Or if there's a small child involved, they're just not, we're just not set up for that. What we do is, so it's single person based, right? So it's a single veteran or a veteran who's estranged from their family, or a veteran that needs help and their family's willing to stand by, and let that veteran recover. What we do in that case is our programming director will reach out to the appropriate VA facilities or
agencies,
or find the right programming for that veteran and that family, so that everybody's involved in the process.
referrals.
Right. So, and if it's a housing issue, then we'll reach out to community-based programs to find housing for that family.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Okay, so can they have visitors? They can. Visitors have to follow all rules and regulations. It's 100% sober facility, so drug use, alcohol use is not allowed, doesn't happen. Can't keep an eye on them 24/7. It does happen, but they are randomly tested. So if they fail a certain amount of tests based on whatever they're in there for the program, and whatever they're in it for, they can be discharged. So because of violation, doesn't make sense to continue to let them have chance after chance after chance. They're just obviously they just don't. They're not, they just don't want to help. Or they want to help, or they're just not ready to commit. Is any veteran allowed to stay in a tiny home village? No. So so because it's a co-ed, so males and female veterans, we have two females there now. The rest are males, but because it's co-ed, we have pretty strict regulations. The veterans are registered sex offender, has a bad conduct discharge. In other words, they did something really bad when they were in service, and they were discharged for it, or any conviction for a violent crime. Now, the violent crime thing is based on a case-by-case basis, but the other two are not. It's just 100%. You're not gonna be allowed to stay there. So. Any questions? So just some village statistics, and this is for programming. So 2023, there were 28 residents throughout that year total. 13 graduates, 4 non-graduates. So a lot of the time somebody will ask for what is a graduate, what's a non-graduate. So graduate means that they got through whatever they were going through with court appointed stuff. They got through our programming. They're ready to move out. They have money saved. They've identified a place to live. They have a steady job, and they're ready to move on with their life. So that and they finished our program part of it. So that's a graduate. Non-graduate means that one of those things they failed at. They failed to find a job at that in that time frame. They didn't fulfill their court appointed duties, and they violated our drug policy or alcohol policy numerous times. So they had to be discharged. So in 2020.
Are they allowed to have pets,
No pets allowed.
the service animals or ESAs or anything?
We haven't had that happen yet where a vet has come in with a service animal. So at least since I've been there. And we've had veterans. We have one now at current, a lady that had a cat, wanted to bring a cat, but because we don't, it's real difficult to maintain the grounds. If you have pets running all over the place or outside, it's difficult. And to maintain cleanliness, the homes are so small.
Right.
It's difficult to maintain cleanliness of the homes properly, so, we just, if it's a service animal, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't have that answer, but I'll ask.
I just have to say, the lady with the cat, we actually found somebody
Yeah,
to take the cat. One of the,
A lot of
another vet took it.
a lot of times they'll leave it with a family member. They'll find somebody to take it. Until they're done. And then they'll take possession back. 2024, we've had 23 residents, 9 graduates and 2 non-graduates. So that number has increased just a tad bit as well.
It turned half the population during the year.
What's that?
It turned half the population of residents.
Just about.
Yeah.
Just about. Okay, so there's a question, what's the process? So there's a questionnaire and 3 packets that every applicant has to fill out. Basically, it's a screening process. So the obvious questions, you have a violent felony? Do you have what type of discharge did you have? You're a registered sex offender. They'll submit a drug test. That has to come back negative. So I believe it's 3 chances they have to submit a drug test. If they fail all 3 chances for the drug test, then they have to reapply. After that, after they fill out and they do the drug test, they have to be board approved. So we do have a board that every applicant has to that the board reviews, and then the board makes decision of whether or not they'll be allowed, but it has to get through the program director. So the priorities, so homeless veterans who are on the street living in somebody else's home, in a vehicle with family, friends, they're priority number 1. So those will be taken over. Other veterans who are at risk of losing housing, but still have housing. Maybe they're 30 days out, 60 days out from losing their place of residence. They're given priority number 2. However, if they're equal in either level of priority, then we start taking in age, disabilities, resources, things of that nature. So that'll also weigh into the decision made on whether they are able to move into the community or not. So some of the things that we offer, therapy classes. So up in the top left-hand corner, that's an art class that that we have that is part of the programming. On the right, there's just some gardening things that we have a Serenity garden. We also have an actual garden where residents can grow their own fruit, grow their own vegetables. And then we take them on excursions as well. So I think in December they did a bowling night. November, December, they did a bowling night. They'll take them out to movies, you know, as a group, and their signups. Is we're not forcing 15 residents to go. Some of them do have jobs and you know, they're obligated to fill those requirements, but yeah, so that's done about once a quarter. We also have what's called a skills academy. So some of the things that we've done in the past, the guy up on the top left hand, his name's Scotty. He's a volunteer. We have a bike rack of these. They're really, some of our really nice bikes that are available to all the residents to take out on bike, you know, when they're at their leisure. What he does is he'll come down and he'll repair any of the bikes that we have, any new bikes we get. He'll give them a once over, make any repairs, and then put them back on the rack. We now have a lean-to to keep them out of the weather. He'll also take residents and train them on how to maintain a bike, whether it's lubing the chain, whether it's lubing the chain all the way up to, you know, changing out sprockets, tightening up spokes. The other ones, we have, and this is done once a month. So one of them on the bottom left, you'll see that's a woodworking class. They built a couple benches still in our Quonset hut. The top right and bottom right up, I believe, are leather working. So we have leather works. We had a leather worker come in and give a class on how to make their own wallets, purses, I think, some other leather items, but we've had skills classes for basic automobile maintenance. We just had a welding class. So, and these are again residents. It's just basic, whether it's basic life skills or whether it's just skills, you know, that pique their interest. They might want to pursue. And then we have a barber and a stylist that comes in. We have a barber coming in tomorrow, blacktop barber, for our residents. So he sets up a mobile barber shop. And then Missy is our stylist. They come in about once a month or every month and a half, free haircuts to the residents as well. And then we just went through the holidays, so very successful thanks to some donations that were made by this organization. So and Toys for Tots.
Yes, well,
This
that
was
was,
also loosely affiliated.
It was a partnership, right?
yeah,
So
One of our members is jointly involved.
very successful, probably, I think it was, so there's a lot of conversation, a lot of happy kids, really nice gifts, so.
parents were happy, but
Very,
kids were happy because.
Yeah.
it was very well done, very well presented, so.
Did you have enough
Yes.
for the kids?
More than,
Awesome.
more than.
Well,
Oop.
that's the end of yours.
Okay, so that's it. So that's pretty much what we're about, what we do.
The stuff that you were showing when they were doing the trades and crafting, what happens with a lot of that stuff? And you had benches, for example, that were decent size and
Right, so
The
we
leather
still have
goods.
those, so we still have those benches will be put out. So a lot of this stuff the residents will take, right? It's donated, it's donated to the residents. If the residents don't want it, we'll put it in the marketplace for veterans to take. So if there's like a leather wallet or a purse or whatever, with the leather making class, we'll put it in our market for them for a veteran to grab while they're shopping. The benches we'll use throughout the property, in our Serenity Garden. We do have a community space, outdoor community space.
the reason I was bringing it up is, you know, this year at Salmon and Ramble, one of the things we brought back was a little vendor fair. And, you know, potentially this could be something where if you guys are producing products that, you know, an excess amount that you wanted to sell, we could probably look to get you a spot there to have the organization represented, and you could even sell some of the goods there if you wanted.
That's an interesting thought. We cannot sell anything
Oh,
because we're a nonprofit, so
Okay.
we can't we can't sell anything, we can't make any money.
But they can
Put it
volunteer.
out for a fundraiser though.
But we could do that, we could also for a donation of a certain amount,
Yeah,
here you go.
yeah, yeah,
We've gotten around it.
yeah.
We're not trying to be slick, it's just, you know,
Following the rules.
we're
Yeah.
following the rules, but, you know. If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
So do you have any type of annual fundraisers of any significant size?
We participate in a number of fundraisers. Where we will receive donations. We're the benefactors of a number of fundraisers that are held for veterans outreach. So our organization ourselves we don't have like one set significant fundraiser that we hold for our benefit. We partner with community-based businesses. And we'll set out a table, we'll talk about what we do. And then they will raise funds, however whether it's a bake sale or they're selling their own goods, proceeds are donated to. It could be a joint venture, whether it's Hope Safe House and Veterans Outreach. Could be some other organizations.
Have we probably recently had a dinner or something that?
That was a gala, that was an annual gala. We pay for that out of our funds.
That's not designed as a fundraiser.
That's just designed to celebrate our donors and our volunteers and staff. And then also to recognize them throughout the gala. We do raffle off goods, so baskets. So we had some raffles, we had some really nice trips that
Donated.
that were donated, but they were auctioned, right? So it's a silent auction for them. I'm sorry, not a raffle. This was these were silent auction items. We had we had a gaming kit that was auctioned off. I think everything got auctioned off except for the trips. So they were kind of pricey. They were wonderful trips. But yeah, and then those proceeds are used.
No, general public stop and tour the facility.
Absolutely. We encourage it. There's always somebody available that will
For your house?
be able to take anybody who requests it
Want to see,
a tour.
Yeah, reality.
especially our board members and stuff.
Yep.
Like that.
Yeah, we can talk about this stuff all day, right? I can throw numbers at you. I can tell you about statistics, tell you what we do, until you see it in action, it functioning, like, you know, everything turning. It's not easy to get things to happen on a daily basis. But the team that we have is very passionate. There's, I think 60% of us are veterans. We have civilian employees as well and volunteers that either have had members of their family in the military or members that are currently serving. So, you know, this is nice as an introduction, but we definitely encourage the community to come in, take a tour. If you're interested in finding out, you know, here's what we do, here's how we approach a veteran, or when a veteran does come in, how we approach them with our programming and what we have available. Same thing with the marketplace, right? So, and this is just growing and growing. Jim's seeing it in action. But it's growing. People come in on a daily when we're open and sign up to shop at our marketplace, sign up for, you know, and we have a waiting list for residents in our tiny homes. So
I just want to say, so like on the day that you came in on the 23rd when Santa was there, just before you got there, there was a new guy coming into the food bank because he doesn't necessarily know to go across the street. But I was taking him in as a new veteran and I said, "And what's your address?" And he said, "I'm living in my car."
So right away,
Went to the application.
right away, they go across the street. We get them,
Yeah.
introduced across the street to.
I think the most amazing thing that I've seen there is the veterans show appreciation rather than entitlement
Mhm.
that you see in so many other food pantries throughout the area,
And-
churches, things of that nature.
They're happy to get what they get. I mean, because what we get from Meyer and that, I mean, the stuff that we get that's new is pretty much from Amazon.
Truly appreciative of everything.
But we get stuff that's like days before they're gonna be chucking in the garbage can, you know. And they're happy to get that clump of beets or that bag of carrots or potatoes or whatever. I mean, the day old bakery or it's usually more than a day old, but they're happy to get all of it.
Well, we get a lot of prime product, right? So our corporate donors, they're not gonna give us, items that are gonna expire the next day. Or,
Yeah, no, not the next day, but-
or, you know what I mean, or
Yeah.
are on the verge of expiring, so such as our
They
produce.
have to run a business too.
Right, their reputation is on the line as much as.
Walmart did do that to us before Darren came in. I'm just
So-
saying, that's what I saw.
We're very
the first time.
particular in
Yeah.
what we receive and how we
Yeah.
receive it.
Before you put it
How
on
we're
the shelves.
transporting it, right? So we follow HACCP guidelines, which is hazard analysis critical control point guidelines, which is used in food service operations. Every food service operation or every grocery store operation has that in place to ensure the health and safety and the quality of the product. Right?
Yeah, I didn't
That's
mean to
all.
make it sound like it was that bad.
No,
That's what
that's okay.
That's what we're getting before you got there.
That's okay, but yeah, we're very particular. We're not just gonna, we'll accept the donation. But if it's continuously substandard,
Questionable.
then there's gonna be a conversation.
Yeah.
And so. Anyone else have questions or concerns?
Our trout and salmon donations
Yeah.
seem to go over really well.
Very,
Mary Lee has brought up something that Milwaukee's doing, and we're exploring the logistics of doing the same, where we could have the charter boats and private boaters from Reef Point potentially have a drop point with accessibility.
yeah, she mentioned that.
So,
And that the warden will get involved with, because if they come and pick it up. It's okay, because it's going right to where it's going to be donated to, so we don't have to worry about somebody else transporting it to there, like we had with after the 2 fishing contests.
Ain't that worried about it anymore, cause. If I need to, I'll just call Darren and say I need to keep drop the fish.
yeah,
Okay.
Just about has that relationship. with it.
And I have to say, I got a lot of feedback about that.
Jim
smoked
gets
fish you
around.
donated. The smoked fish that you brought, people were raving about it.
yeah. So we're looking at, and I'm talking to Carrie at the marina, but if we could find something inside the gate where, the general public couldn't mess around with it, but they're gonna have all the charter boats right in front of the marina as this remodel completes over the next 4 years. For us to have a cooler out there similar, or a
Freezer.
freezer out there similar with the lock that we have a universal, either keys to all the charter captains.
I think Salmonorama is a good one to take advantage of,
Oh, yeah,
cause a lot of guys, they're tired,
they're there to
They'd rather-
fish, not to fillet and eat.
they'd rather give.
Yeah, they don't want
Yeah.
that, this goes down the
Yeah.
garbage.
Well, I was listening to some of the gentlemen and ladies speak about, needing volunteers, right? For this event, that's, some of the, especially Salmonorama.
Yeah,
Jim's already spoken with us, and so,
Yeah.
our staff and some of our volunteers that we have more than willing to come down and do what we have to do to support that, been so generous to us, so. And just knowing that you're even thinking about something of that caliber.
Mhm.
Available to us,
we know what protein
it's
goes for.
amazing.
Well,
You know,
part
it's
of the
just
reason I
amazing.
asked you to come is because we do have our grant.
Yes,
That we give out. And through discussions, I know there's some things I use need help with. I wanted the general membership for one, when we did the turkey drive and the 4th of July. I think it's good feedback for them to know that this stuff went to a good cause
yeah,
and something about the foundation. But, it's also good for the membership and the board, because when we discuss doing things in the future, they got firsthand knowledge of what you are doing with the community.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks. Well said. And again, for everyone here, if to get a better sense of exactly what happens on a day-to-day basis.
Not to interrupt you there, but one thing I think is really important is the fact that you are not federally funded.
Right, that's
huge.
that's a good point. We often get confused with being affiliated with the Veterans Administration of VA, right? Get a lot of questions, we field questions throughout the week, well, are you affiliated with the Veterans Administration, VA, or the VA in Milwaukee? Or, the VA and, is it,
North Chicago.
yeah, or any Veterans Administration office in the area. We're like you, five
We're a
oh
five oh
one
one
C
C three
three.
that supports.
Fully
the-
independent.
yeah.
Yeah, so, we I mean, we have to, run off, donations and grants. So that's, and people just having a good heart and being generous. But yeah, we have no affiliation. Now, we have working relationships with the Veterans Administration because we work with vets. Exclusively.
We have to know where to send them.
We also work hand in hand. One of the board members is the Racine County Veteran Services Officer,
On
Sean
Rivers.
Rivers. So, and Sean Rivers, yeah, and then Amy Hooper, she's also a board member. She works with Sean, right, as the assistant. So, yeah, we have quite a lot of resources available for veterans. And then, but again, we also have capability of reaching out into community with other community-based programs, to offer assistance, whether it's, and we do this quite often. We donate some of the product that we receive that we're not able to get out into the market. We work hand in hand with Mount Pleasant Cop House, Racine Cop Houses, Halo, Women's Resource Center. So we also work with them as well. So I don't know. I feel like I'm just continuously taking away from you guys' meeting, but
No, we've asked questions and you're answering it. That's why we're here.
so are there anything else?
No, we got a lot of work to do with you this year.
Yeah, we got a good
I think
partnership going.
Jim's got some good ideas and
Can I get my own parking spot?
Talk about it. So,
First you gotta get a vehicle.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
well, as long as you're not driving the Subaru, Jim, as long as you're not driving the Subaru, I think.
One little incident. I get back into the building, but nobody was hurt.
So thanks again for the time and for paying attention.
Thank you for your
And, yeah,
efforts.
Absolutely. We appreciate you guys so much.
The first thing that came to mind was.
Hey, talk about not wanting to cut into our time. You are our time.
Oh.
You are special guest speakers. We genuinely appreciate that.
And I just wanna personally, I work there and I've never worked any place that I've been so happy and I feel like I'm making a difference in people's lives.
Where the care is needed most. Upcoming events. We're starting to turn into that season. This is something Jim warns about when we talk about the Salmon Ramble Planning Committee meetings, but this is why getting the sponsorships buttoned up and getting everything volunteers buttoned up as fast as we can because the snow only falls for so long. But Milwaukee Boat Show is next week, I think, and then we've got our next committee meeting, as he said, Monday, February 3rd. You're at the Yacht Club general membership meeting. Bob, you did confirm, I think, big boy.
No.
Was it? No?
No, I sent you a thing that he was gonna be on the town.
For February?
Yeah.
I thought I'm sorry, I misread it because I was on the trip. I thought he was gone this month and, okay,
Well, he hasn't committed to anything.
okay. Well, then to be determined for,
I asked him if he had any other dates and he never got back.
okay. I'll chase him.
Takeaway fishing a charter or what?
They keep charter and guide. Yeah, so,
He also guides ice fishing.
yeah.
Yeah, go any morning down there.
He's down there in the Racine ice lately.
Okay,
So,
I'm curious.
yep. And then, as Mike was saying, our Illinois brethren have their swap meet on February 15th. I've got a couple of flyers if anybody wants. It's only $5 for the entry, but they also, if you want to sell stuff, they have both professional vendors and they have, just like our swap meet, $25 for Illinois member or $40 for non-members. You can set up a table down there too.
I think you said they'd give us the Illinois rate, but they.
Oh, cool. For our members?
Yes.
Okay, that's awful. I know Bradley's gonna be down there selling some stuff that he has. I think for the jackpot series to boost it too. So, but they had, I would say they're roughly double the size of us for their vendor meet. At least last year when I went down there, it's pretty robust.
It's huge.
Yeah. And then Salmon Rama Committee meeting and, then the Milwaukee Journal Times Sports Show in March, so. I think that's everything, and then 2025 dates, again, reminder, we have the cleanup tentatively set for April 19th. Net pens, we don't have any updates on that, I don't think, for timing from the DNR as of this point. And then Jackpot Series, Salmon Rama dates, so we're here, folks. Don't miss out. That's it, unless anybody has other announcements.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
can we check the checkbook after the boat show?
Oh.
Not it, huh?
Better check the bank's checkbook, God, you don't have to worry about the
Can't
club
get it out.
checkbook, I got a bigger checkbook at the bank.
I don't care about that one. The club should have a boat that's a club boat, though. You know that, don't you?
Which was obviously administered by the president. If you didn't, but you might have heard, but I had a tree dropped on my boat. And
Yeah, no.
it also caught Bob's too.
Oh, yeah, he's the other person.
Yeah,
It sucks.
yeah, tears, so. That's all we got for tonight. Thank you. Get your tickets if you didn't get any, and then is there anyone else on the spots for the jackpot? Or did the
I
jackpot?
got them here.
You got 'em there?
Take 'em.
Huh?
You need it back, we can't take them.
Oh, I need those, at least to give them bread and water.
Who won the Swiss cards?
Oh, yeah, Brad was gonna give them to me, so I could, well, then,
That works. Let me get photos to let them know what I collected money for.
Can I hang on to this or I'll get
I'll do it.
meeting with them or?
No, I'll do a deposit here. Yeah.
$350.
Sure. Check out the pictures.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to Bradley.
Because I was Swiss.
Okay, cool.
Jim's been there.
Let me see those. Real quick.
But there's gotta be people going, like, talk on. Yeah. Yeah.
What about me? What about me? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll fill them out later and get them back to Todd.
Yeah, give them to me, 'cause I don't know.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, he's scamming.
Yeah. Hey, it's a strategy.
you got shit.